Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Beyond Sports Podcast, where we BS about the sports.
Or the lack of sports.
Yeah, or the lack of. We took last week off due to taking in a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Win.
Sorry. We should, reflect on the best season that there's ever been in football.
It really was the best season of football there has ever been. I mean,
right. For a Chiefs fan, anyways.
I couldn't have been happier with the outcome. First and second place with my two favorite teams.
For a Chiefs and Eagles fan, incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible year.
Great year.
I know both your teams go to the Super Bowl.
They both look good in the Super Bowl.
In MVP, right?
Yeah.
They both look great in the Super Bowl.
Nobody got seriously hurt in that Super Bowl and running on the ice rink that was a football field.
Right.
So
look, like Jason Kelsey said, it's part of the game.
I agree. Both teams played on it.
Adapting to different fields.
Both teams played on it, but it was still a dangerous field.
And figuring it out, that's part of the game, right?
Yeah, it was still a dangerous surface.
It was. They should probably not do that, especially.
They should probably not put that grass on top that they put on top.
Probably figure that out.
They should probably just burn that whole stadium down and restart.
Try again, different spot.
Because that's where Bucker got hurt.
Yeah, and McDuffie.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, the Cardinals didn't have great luck on that field this year.
So do we want to, we could reflect on things about how awesome the season was, the Super Bowl, any points in the Super Bowl that we want to just reflect on. Come on. Nothing. No.
I don't even remember the Super Bowl, honestly.
You know what you're going to remember from this. You know what we're all going to remember. Just like how on our first Super Bowl run, we remember the comebacks, right? Yeah. Every game was a comeback. Okay. In this one, it's going to be Mahomes on one leg. Like the Mahomes, like Jordan flu game, you've got Mahomes postseason run on one leg. Like he did the whole
thing on one leg.
He got hurt. Yeah, he got hurt on like the second drive of that Jags game, or the first.
The MVS game. The MVS game is one that's going to stick with me.
That's huge. Like
that game was huge.
It was huge for MVS. Man.
We had nobody else to turn to.
Do what?
Had nobody else to really turn to other than Kelsey and MVS, and MVS definitely delivered in the biggest moment, the biggest possible moment that he could.
It was crazy. Yeah,
he fucking did it. That was wonderful to see.
Touchdown.
Yeah.
Well, then you see like the mic'd up of that was the Bengals game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the defenders are like they're throwing to 11, guard him, and he was still getting
open, man.
Yeah, I mean, you see that. I mean, it's reminiscent, obviously not as monster of what the other one is, but it's reminiscent of like kind of like what Gabe Davis elevated to last year in the postseason against the Chiefs.
Right. Yeah.
Obviously, MVS didn't have the flashy 4-touchdown game.
Yeah. Yes.
But,
and then he went quiet for the Super Bowl, so that didn't help. But he had a great AFC Championship game.
Sammy Watkins in the playoffs.
Gabe Davis didn't even make the Super Bowl, so
well, no, we know that we'll never know because he couldn't get past the Chiefs. But I'm just saying that level that he reached, it's probably that's not what that player does.
Right.
That's not who
off in that game.
Yeah. So you got to think of it highly. That's one in the whole postseason run that'll stick with me from the Chiefs.
So there's in the Super Bowl, right? We've all probably seen all about it, right? Corn dog. We all know corn dog.
Corn dog.
We all know about rock and roll defenses, right? Where you rock the coverage over to try to cover, and they got burnt doing that. We've probably all seen that. I think one of the most impressive things that I saw from, again, Mahomes, the scramble, all that. The most impressive thing in that Super Bowl is on that Sky Moore touchdown, right? how we had the formation wrong, right? And if you
Kelsey
watch that
lined up
13
wrong.
do what?
Kelsey lined up wrong.
Kelsey should have
Yeah.
been on the other side,
Yep.
or it should have just been
Yeah, it
Sky
was
Moore.
apparently it was all Kelsey. That's what Matt Nagy said. Matt Nagy was like, Kelsey lined up wrong.
Because Kelsey was supposed to be over on the other side just
Yeah.
to like lay a rub route kind of thing, right? Just to kind of get in the way, cause traffic, so that Sky Moore can be even more open. And on that play, the Eagles didn't even try to rock the defense. They didn't try to pass off the coverage. To
They had no intention of covering Sky Moore.
No, the guy just he saw Sky running across the formation like he had all game, right? Because we had been setting him up all game,
all year.
Set him up the play before, like I think it was a play before or two before that play. We had Sky Moore go across the formation, and so he just lost sight of him. And then with that play, as soon as you say hike, guy cuts back, and just.
Well, I mean, it's if you
just took his eyes off him. So the reason
if you watch the Chiefs just with Andy Reid, anytime they get to the goal line, they run that play. It's typically across motion that goes across
all the way. We hadn't run
setting that up. They implemented that 13 days before is what Orlando Brown was saying.
We hadn't run corn dog or that route since week 1.
Yeah,
in that stadium for us. Okay, so the reason Mahomes felt okay hiking that ball, even though the formation was wrong.
Andy was trying to call a timeout too.
Andy was trying to call that. But Mahomes calls out zero coverage, right? Or what is known as zero blitz, right? Where everybody's they're gonna bring one more. The defense is gonna bring one more guy than what's blocking, right? And they're just which means each wide receiver is gonna be manned up, and there's no help beyond that. The Eagles had run that play 7 times all year before that moment. 7 times all year, and out of like over 1,100 play calls. And Mahomes calls it out before the play. That's less than 0.1%. Like just quick math, that's less than 0.1% of the Eagles defensive plays were a zero blitz.
Yeah,
and Mahomes calls it out pre-snap. And knows he wants to run that play because one of his dudes is going to get open. And the first guy you're going to look to is the guy who's breaking on his route as soon as you call hike,
Yeah.
So, I mean, just that shows, because there's Mahomes talking to LeBron James in the barbershop moment where he said he didn't start reading defenses until like in his second year, basically as a starter.
Yeah.
Like, what I mean? This shows him taking such a step up. Like the league needs to, they're scared, of course, because he just won a second one, but my God, you got to be shitting your pants if this dude's about to turn into Peyton Manning like that.
No. Now, we could keep talking Chiefs Super Bowl, but we did have a whole episode on that.
Yeah.
And we do have some other things to talk about, and it kind of segues. Like,
okay. That's all I wanted to say was like, that was just the most impressive things. I think the most impressive thing that I saw from Mahomes that especially nobody's talking about. Anyways.
No, it's very impressive.
I mean, he called out the covers that had been run,
But I mean,
but still,
they're not running a very different version of cover zero than other teams. So he's seen cover zeros.
Yeah, I know, but you're at the goal line. If you look at the play before, it's not insanely obvious because the defense is going to be pulled up no matter what when you're that close to the goal line. So it's not like it wasn't the most obvious thing in the world. It's not like they're in the middle field and the entire defense is crowding the line of scrimmage. Like, anyways, let's go on. Yeah. Let's move on. Let's not talk about the second Super Bowl that we got in a lifetime thing that we've been waiting for. Let's just go on. Yeah. I'm still getting used to it. I still haven't gotten used to it. Like took me a while to get used to.
Yeah, it is pretty weird.
Okay.
It is weird.
And you
know what's really weird about the Chiefs getting 2 Super Bowl wins?
What's
that? The offensive coordinator of the Chiefs had to accept an offensive coordinator position with the Commanders instead of being. And while the 2 coordinators for the team that lost the Super Bowl were both named head coaches, the coordinator who has been with 2 Super Bowl champion teams, had to go take an offensive coordinator position and associate head coach with the Commanders.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
I mean,
is the guy. Yeah, and the Commanders seem to like his interview well enough, so it's not like he's just a terrible interviewer.
yeah, and my thing on the situation is too, like, Matt Nagy and Doug Peterson weren't allowed to do more with the offenses when they were the coordinators of the Chiefs
Dude, I know.
than
I know.
Eric Bieniemy was allowed to do. So there's
It
an
makes
argument
no
that he never got
sense.
to call plays from LaShawn McCoy. I'm like, but neither did Matt Nagy or fucking Doug Peterson, and they both got head coaching opportunities within.
After like 2 years.
Matt Nagy was in a year. He was an offensive coordinator for 1 year, then became a head coach. Doug was at least,
Okay,
I think,
and
2, but still.
Matt Nagy was coming off a playoff game, in which we blew a 21 to 3-point lead, lost by 1 point because our offense couldn't score anything in the second half of the game. Our offense couldn't score a damn point. If it had just kicked a fucking field goal,
the Cardinals just hired the defensive coordinator of the Eagles, who Eric Bieniemy just torched.
Yeah.
For 38 points, right?
Dude, yes.
So,
I mean, a guy in a defensive coordinator who had 1 good season, right?
Wasn't very aggressive.
Was very good. I believe was the Eagles defense ranked number 1? Was it them or the Niners?
I think they ended the season as number 1. It was close. They had a good year.
I know the past. Hey, Kat, I know your past defense was number 1.
Yeah.
Because this is the first time a number 1 pass defense has gone up against a number 1 passing offense, and the offense has won in the Super Bowl.
That's crazy.
It's like happened like 3 other times or something like that.
Yeah.
You had the Broncos and the Seahawks, the last one, where we saw what happened there.
Oh yeah.
Legion of Boom laid the boom on
Played
that
the fucking
1.
Boom. What the the Giants weren't ranked number 1 against the pass.
You also have like Mahomes doesn't have the best defenses when he's won these Super Bowls, right? Like very middle grade. And the other teams have had like the best defense in the league that year. And in Super Bowls, usually that defense is the one winning the game. That's all I'm saying.
It did.
Okay.
The defense wins you championships.
The Giants
defense did win one of the Super Bowls
against the pass.
then.
Do what?
I said the defense, and in fairness, the defense did win one of the Super Bowls Mahomes was in.
Okay, that was no offensive line, and our wide receivers
I'm aware.
were letting balls bounce off their face masks.
I didn't say it was because of Mahomes.
Okay, but you're right. Okay, you're right. He is 2-1 against like the top defense in the league.
Yeah,
it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
No.
Okay.
No, it's not.
You know, if Kurt Warner gets taken down by the fucking the Patriots defense and the Steelers defense, right?
Yeah.
Even though Kurt Warner is amazing in that Steelers, like his Cardinals Steelers Super Bowl, like holy shit.
He had that one turnover and that was the difference.
Right?
Jalen Hurts.
The one turnover, and that's the difference.
There was also a 6.
But I had the Patriots Giants, the first one, especially. Like, what happened to that number 1 like one of the best offenses ever?
Yeah. That was at the time the best offense ever, broke all the records.
Cam Newton, the Panthers in 15 against the Broncos stout defense. What happened? Right? The defense just blew them up.
Yeah, Ravens blew up. Yeah.
Somehow we have a quarterback that makes up for a lot.
Yeah.
It's just pretty cool.
It is.
What we're waiting for.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I mean, it was just
we moved on,
and we're talking about Eric Bieniemy right now.
Right. Nothing related to the Chiefs whatsoever. So there's no way I can pull us back into the.
Unfortunately, the next topic was that Matt Nagy got promoted to the offensive coordinator role in Kansas City.
Right. It all goes together. Wait, with Eric Bieniemy, I mean, like, there's got to be a racial issue playing in somewhere here, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I get that D'Amico Ryans was just hired, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's 4 NFL coaches are African American, maybe 5 now. No, 4 because it was Lovey lost his job. Yeah.
D'Amico
took over.
So, anyway, I don't know, man. I mean,
Yeah, I mean it's.
I know it's not all that plays into it. Obviously, there's I don't know what else would be with Eric. It's weird. The more time goes on, the more you feel like it is because of that with Eric Bieniemy's situation.
Yeah, I mean every year that he's been the offensive
just-
coordinator of the Kansas City Chiefs, they've reached the AFC Championship game. Yes, they have had Patrick
then-
Mahomes. Yes, they have Andy Reid, but I mean,
what
they have fucking
that
Eric
shouldn't
Bieniemy.
like
Eric Bieniemy
kinda
should be in that category with
I know
those two.
you should be like, if nothing else, this dude just learned from Andy Reid, and he got like
And look what he was able to help Patrick Mahomes achieve. Like, why
Hmm.
is it never that? I mean, what type of, I mean, yeah, Andy
I don't
Reid
know,
had a
man.
more formidable role in developing
Yeah,
Patrick, but I mean, Eric was probably a very fundamental aspect.
how the Cardinals could hire the the Eagles defensive coordinator after like one good season and then a shit performance against not just the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, but really every top offense he went against.
Yeah, I didn't understand that hire. I thought if they were waiting on one of the, I mean, they've had bad coaching hires their last two.
The Cardinals are an inept organization.
Ever since Bruce Arians left, they've had Steve Wilkes for a season, and Cliff Kingsbury wasn't that great, and now maybe Jonathan Gannon will prove me wrong. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and shit all over him. He had a bad performance in that one. I'm not blaming the guy for taking the job that he was offered, but
no, dude,
I don't think that he should have been the hire. I mean,
come on.
I'm not even as upset about Steichen getting a job. That one we saw coming, I think.
The OC?
Yeah.
The Eagles
going to the
OC?
Colts.
Eagles
Colts,
OC
there's
going to the Colts. We got
there's familiarity there with the organization.
I get that too, and he was the OC for the Chargers in Herbert's rookie year.
Yeah, so he's done some good things.
Develop rookie. He just helped Jalen Hurts develop and in a completely different style of offense.
Yeah, so
I actually understand why you would want him, especially if you're the Colts with his familiarity and if you were trying to go young quarterback, right? Because the Colts, I think, are done with aging QBs.
I mean, did you hear Bruce Jim Irsay? I'm sorry.
No.
Jim Irsay was talking, and he's Jim Irsay, he's talking out his ass.
Yeah, oh yeah, man.
And he's just sitting there talking about quarterbacks. And he's like, there's a lot of good quarterbacks in the league, and I'll tell you what, that kid from Alabama, he looks really good too. I mean, we'll see. It's like Jim Irsay, like, did they accidentally show you the draft board?
I know. Why are you giving away your shit like that?
And now the Bears are just sitting there like, we can guarantee you get that motherfucker.
Yeah, right.
We can guarantee you get him. We just want some picks.
He's trying to play some 40 chest or something, and get other teams to move when he's cool with hitting like another. I don't know, man.
I don't know. He's gonna have to move ahead of the Texans, it looks like, to get him.
Yeah, I mean, if you're the Texans, why not?
Yeah, I mean, the Texans sitting at 2 will probably take him or CJ Stroud if the Colts jump them, or maybe like a Falcons.
If you're the Colts, you can take Stroud as well. Where are the Colts sitting in the draft?
4.
But the Colts are in prime position to get whatever get one of those two quarterbacks.
Yeah, they could definitely. I think
they could probably put a package together. I don't know how many.
Not a huge jump.
First round picks they have because they've been trained for all them QBs, but
yeah, but luckily they got Matt Ryan for a 3rd. But I think you have enough ammo to move up 3 slots in the draft.
Right, exactly. It's not that far. You're not asking the other team to move that far back.
Yeah, I mean, you give them a 3rd, a 5th, and then next year's 1st. Sounds like a lot, but
I mean, they might. Man,
it depends on who else is.
Try to give up a second. Try to see if you can give up a second. Like you're just sliding back 3 spots.
Yeah,
3 spots. 3 spots for a second.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I mean,
yeah. Anyway, are we moving on to all those that QB situation?
Yeah. I mean,
the
QB situation because you got the Jets, which apparently it's being talked that Derek Carr wants clarity on their plans for Zach Wilson if he were to sign with the Jets. I think that's reasonable. So that could muddy it because a lot of talks say they want to keep Zach Wilson for a year or two. and let him learn. So it feels like it's almost more tailor made for an Aaron Rodgers or Jimmy G.
Aaron
Derek Carr's
Rodgers, go
gonna
over to this other team with a young first round draft pick QB and teach him.
No, he doesn't have to teach him. He can just look. We know he ain't good.
Yeah, so man,
he ain't ready for a couple years. We know that. We've seen him.
Because Jets. I mean, look, Jets. I'm sorry that Zach Wilson's not working out, but he's not working out. I would say definitely Derek Carr is maybe their best option. Like Aaron Rodgers
drafting a QB.
Aaron Rodgers isn't a bad QB because the Jets can win right now. The Jets can
Aaron
win
Rodgers
right now.
is like Flex Seal. It's maybe got a good receiver.
Either one will be fine for them. I think Derek Carr will allow you to have a lot more flex in the cap space, right?
I mean, what you're probably getting the $60 million contract Aaron Rodgers is commanding next year because what's 59.75?
It's pretty big hit.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And if you're the Jets, you'd like to have just a little more flex because you're so close if you're the Jets. Like you have defense. You have it.
Defense, and you got some good offensive weapons. I mean, you have the offensive rookie of the year and Garrett Wilson. Exactly. I like Elijah Moore still. If receiver, Denzel Mims.
Yes.
Nice.
Who got
Corey
hurt?
Davis.
Who got hurt? Their running back, right?
Oh, Breece Hall.
Yes.
Breece Hall is nice.
Insane.
Michael Carter. Michael Carter was a good.
Breece Hall was lighting it up before he got hurt.
Yeah, I mean, and I think you saw they had two other backs who played really well after he got hurt. So
they are kind of building like a 49ers thing here.
Yeah.
You've got, I mean, obviously Saleh, right? There's the ties there, but you've got the defense and you've got so many good offensive weapons that you just need a decent QB, a competent QB. That's what
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy Garoppolo wouldn't be a terrible one either.
He's familiar with Robert Saleh is familiar with Jimmy G from his time with the Niners.
He's comfortable with an awkward QB situation.
The verbiage shouldn't be a problem. It gives Zach Wilson an opportunity to play 3 to 5 games a year to see if he can develop in that little window.
You know what, Jimmy? Yeah. I think I like Jimmy
because he's gonna miss a few games every year.
Get Jimmy G in there.
Yeah, I like him better there than almost any of the other vacancies.
Yeah,
I feel like if he goes to the Raiders, it's just like you did nothing. You did absolutely nothing except for save money.
Yeah. I mean, I know he probably has some ties to Josh McDaniels, maybe from his Patriots days.
Yeah, but I would feel like anybody that has prior ties to Josh McDaniels probably doesn't want to play for Josh McDaniels.
Right.
That guy
Tom Brady was like, "No, I'll retire. I'm gonna call it."
I still don't get how he got that job. Like his resume still has I traded up to draft Tim Tebow in the first round. I traded back into the first round to draft Tebow. The 25th pick, I drafted Tim Tebow in the first round.
Yeah.
A 5th round prospect. They had a 5th round grade on Tebow, I believe. And he drafted him.
I don't think he wasn't gonna go that low, but
no, he would have gone in the second or third.
Second or third, yeah.
Sure. No other team was gonna do that.
I mean, I think the Browns had already passed on him. And if the Browns are passing on a QB in the first round, come on now.
That dude's well, that might be why they traded up for him. Shit, the Browns passed on him. He's probably going to be good.
Perna just put out a video on that Tebow year.
I haven't watched it, but I saw they put it up.
It's great, man. It brought back all the memories.
Tebow Mania was wild, man. It was wild.
Dude, Tebow Mania, Tebow time, the fourth quarter.
Was fucking crazy.
With those comebacks was nuts. Dude, and some of those comebacks were nuts.
They were.
They were insane.
And they did it all on the fucking ground.
Almost.
Yeah, or he would throw 170-yarder to Eric Decker over fucking Brandon Carr when he was with the Chiefs.
Yeah, the 2 completion game.
Yes.
That he won. He beat the Chiefs throwing 2 completions.
Yeah, I think they were both completions on Brandon Carr or Brandon Flowers, one of the two.
There were some games, he had a couple games where he actually had like real passer stats.
Yeah.
In the playoff game, I think it was nuts. It was like 10 of 21, right? Passing, but 321 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And he had some dimes. It wasn't just that one pass to fucking.
No, I mean, he had Decker and fucking.
He had dime to the end zone earlier in the game too, and a couple big. It was like because all of his passes that game, the ones that he completed were like huge bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was hilarious, man. Not sustainable because then the Patriots like absolutely mopped him up. Tom Brady, Tom Brady's punt on 3rd down. Tom Brady punted on 3rd down, just to straight fuck with the Broncos. They were beating them so bad.
Oh yeah.
With Tebow at QB. So, but it was fun, man. Anyway,
Yeah, so Raiders, I just don't know what they're
No.
gonna fucking do. If they don't get Aaron Rodgers, I don't know what their plan is. Then maybe they try to trade up for a Bryce Young. I seriously don't know about them. The Saints,
dude,
probably just another Jameis Winston, Andy Dalton type
the
year.
Derek Carr would be good at the Saints. I
He
think.
would. I just
Get him
unless
over
he's
there.
willing to cede a lot of contract, like because they're massively over the cap.
Yeah, I'll figure that.
But yeah, they'll figure it out. I mean, so maybe they're able to squeeze him in, but I feel like it'd be like a 1-year deal sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if you're Derek Carr,
You might have to take it.
you might have to take a 1-year deal, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, this all depends on what Aaron Rodgers does. I think everybody's just kind of waiting for that domino to fall,
Yeah.
right? And Aaron Rodgers is, I think, soaking it up a little bit as he has to kind of be at this point because, like, year after year, I understood why he was mad at Green Bay all the other years, but this year I'm just like, dude, they paid you. I don't get it now.
Yeah, they paid you. This was kind of your fault.
This was, I don't understand. I guess they got Randall Cobb back for you, I guess. I don't.
Yeah, it's just one of those you look at it and they already said they won't trade him to an NFC team. So he's going strictly AFC in the trade, and they're asking 2 first-round picks to start conversations.
See, I don't know. Yeah, like, do the Colts really want to give up more draft capital for an aging QB? Right? They've been down that road. This is a different QB. Like Aaron Rodgers is different than those guys.
Are you set up for an Aaron Rodgers? If you're the Colts, realistically, like
I know
you have Michael Pittman.
You got to be. We can win in the next 2 years.
Yeah, I don't think the Colts are.
Yeah, we can win these next 2 years. That has to be your window. I agree. The Colts actually may have had a window like
2 years ago.
Not this past season, but yeah, before that.
Yeah.
Jalen Ramsey on the move.
I was gonna say,
are we going up?
Let's go back to Anthony Richardson real quick.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah.
Let's get his because he's been rising. He's been a polarizing topic as of late.
I mean, it's.
I like him. I like his tape.
It's another like Trey Lance situation where the dude just didn't hasn't played enough. His body of work isn't fleshed out enough
because he's a red shirt.
Just a bunch of analysts being like, well, from the plays he's made and the, and from the eye test, we think he's gonna be that dude. When I don't know. I mean, I've watched a lot of Anthony Richardson, being a Florida fan, and he can be like he has made some plays that are incredible, right? I get it. I get some of those eye-popping plays, dude. Like, yeah, his freshman year, he would step in, they'd have like a few packages for him at least every game, if not more, and he would make some plays that you're like, oh shit, I see why you wear number 15. Like, that's okay. You don't just wear number 15 at Florida.
No,
so I see what you're doing. And then this year it was all set up for him, right? This is your team. You're going to be the guy. Come on in. And week 1, he was that dude, right? Like, I was excited as fuck for him. Go back, watch this. We talked about it on the show. Like, I was like, oh my God, we got the next Tebow, y'all. Like, this dude just took down Utah, who was like ranked number 7 going into the season, and just like lit him up. And
like, what, the 70-yard run in that game?
Yeah, man. Right. Yeah. Like,
he didn't quite have the team that Tebow had around him. Let's just go ahead and get that out of the way, Sam. While we're evaluating,
nobody quite had the team.
He had closer to a supporting cast of a Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech.
Okay. But
no murders.
Realistically,
Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech, even if they weren't winning games because they had a shit defense, right? And I don't know who he's throwing to. But Patrick Mahomes would still go and put up like 400 yards, 4 or 5 touchdowns. Like Patrick Mahomes would go out there and still light it up, right? Uh, dude, Anthony Richardson, after that first week, you're kind of like, what happened? Where'd you go?
Yeah.
I'm not seeing any of this from you the rest of the season, right? You maybe some flashes here or there, but like nothing on a consistent basis. And and it's not, he's like a fucking sophomore, right? Like it's year 2 for him. That's nothing like big. He can definitely, if he works on it next year, he comes back and he's consistent. I would understand a first round grade for him. And I'm not a fucking expert, or anything, but
Yeah.
I don't understand why he's all of a sudden like a top 10 pick in the draft.
And I mean, he also had a 53% completion percentage, so it wasn't high on that.
No, dude, like I'm telling you, he was the rest
That
of
rushing though. I mean,
okay.
yeah. But
You're talking about, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, a quarterback can run in the NFL, but he has to be able to throw. Don't give me 53% completion. That ain't gonna get it done in the NFL.
Nah, he'll leap from that with I don't know.
Just,
I think he's a situation guy.
so
We'll see him at the combine. See how he does
many,
there.
I know, man, and it's just so many guys, so many GMs and coaches thinking like, I'll take that raw talent and I will mold it.
Yeah, if you have the right coach in place, you can do it.
But I would, man, just wait for a little more success in college. Like, look, I don't know, man. Look for some consistency, right? Look at him making, because he would make some throws that you were like, God damn, but he could
Dude, yeah,
never.
I watched a highlight tape of his like right before we did this, and I was like, dude, that dude can fucking launch the ball. And he's got good presence in the pocket. And the clips
There
they
were
showed,
times he looked like it. There were times when, he looked great in the pocket.
Obviously, I just was watching his good plays. I was not watching. I did not watch his low light video. I watched his highlight video.
Right.
But,
so, yeah, I mean, I was one maybe a little more from him, but
yeah.
And I just wanted to see him come back. I also wanted to see him. I was excited to see like maybe him come back and taking the next step because he's very exciting and he can make some crazy plays and he's fun to watch. And I understand why you might get excited if you're like that offensive kind of guy who's like looking for their Tim Tebow or Jalen Hurts or I'm really more of he'd probably be more of a Jalen Hurts with his running ability.
Anyway, let's move on to our next topic.
Yeah.
We got what? Jalen possibly moving?
Yeah, it's looking like the Rams want to move Jalen Ramsey. Detroit. Amon-Ra St. Brown really wants him. Micah Parsons.
I saw him reaching out.
Micah Parsons reached out and said, dude, nobody wants to go from fucking LA to Detroit. Which somebody came back at him and they're like, after the season the Rams had, he might be down for that.
Hey, go for it.
So,
why not, man? Detroit looks like a lot of fun to play right now.
Yeah, and he did. He responded to Amon-Ra as well, saying that he loved Goff. He loved him.
Yeah, man.
He's like, he's not going to speak on his future as of right now, and he's not going to speak on speculation.
But I mean, Detroit, why not?
Dude, I'd love it. Be nice. I want to see Detroit do something.
They need it.
I think Rams, it's probably time to go full rebuild, like as much as it sucks.
Well, did you not hear what Matt Stafford's wife said about the Rams?
Oh no, what happened?
On a podcast.
I did not.
Her and Matt went to Sean McVay's house, and when they left there, Matt Stafford said, "We're going to beat the Chiefs in next year's Super Bowl." After some sort of discussion they had. Scripted. I don't know why. I mean, it's pretty easy to say
we're going back to a Super Bowl,
but
yeah,
at this point,
come on.
If the Rams get healthier, I mean, what are they gonna? They don't. Maybe he's like, we got draft picks, we can trade again. We just unlocked the 2025 picks. We can trade them now.
Yeah, right. Come on.
I mean, if the Rams are healthier, they're probably a playoff team.
Maybe I don't know, man. They fell on their face last year. Like even when they're healthy at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, but I mean, you figure they probably signed somebody on the offensive line,
That's true. I guess their offensive line was banged up going
banged
into
up
it.
and retired right before the
And
season.
retired. Yeah, their offensive line was.
So I mean, I could see them doing that. They have receiving weapons with Cooper Cup and Allen Robinson because
They need to figure out how to run the ball
oh yeah, for sure.
at all.
Yeah, they need to get the play action
and-
going with Matt Stafford.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And their and with their defense, you're getting rid of Ramsey, trading that out. I think you've got, besides Donald, what you got,
Just like you said, this is a pretty deep corner draft.
Yeah.
So if you
Sure.
can get good draft picks in exchange.
I mean, if you're trying, can you rely on rookies to win you all that? You're not the Chiefs.
I was gonna say, didn't the Chiefs just win a Super Bowl with rookies? It's a
well,
copycat league. It's a copycat league, dude. Teams
With
are
the
going to try to
team-
copy that.
Yeah, this isn't a draft team. This is a team that hates their draft picks. This
It
is a trade
is,
team.
but I mean, they're like, oh fuck, now we got to copy that strategy and see if it works.
I mean, you gotta, good luck finding 3 corners in one.
Oh, I
draft
agree.
that
I
give you-
definitely.
that give you real production.
Yeah.
Like
They're like the Seahawks did it. They got good production.
plus a pass rusher and a linebacker with Leo Chanel. I feel and a running back.
Yeah.
And who becomes your starter by the end of the year. Like
We were done with the Chiefs, Sam. We're done with the Chiefs.
same. Try to do that.
Done with them. But
Right. We were done talking about the Chiefs, yeah?
yep, I'm done with the Chiefs.
Done with the Chiefs, okay.
Officially done with the Chiefs now.
Their end right there.
That's it. No more from Sam on the
Okay,
Chiefs.
got it.
Byron
gonna-
Jones.
Byron Jones.
So what'd he say?
So his advice is here's what he tweeted out. He said, much has changed in 8 years. Today I can't run or jump because of my injuries sustained playing this game. Do not take the pills they give you. Do not take the injections they give you. If you absolutely must, consult an outside doctor to learn the long-term implications. It was an honor and a privilege to play in the NFL, but it came at a regrettable cost I did not foresee. In my opinion, no amount of professional success or financial gain is worth avoidable chronic pain and disabilities. Godspeed to the draft class of 2023.
I mean, okay.
So
He's
he's not
probably
the
got a
first
point.
person who said something about pills and stuff like that they're given. I mean, we've seen it with Ryan Leaf, obviously, to one extreme.
Yeah, very much. So.
We've heard it from Todd Harrimans, who talked about him and Calvin Johnson talked about alternative methods that they liked to utilize
Yeah.
to the pain medications.
At least the NFL is allowing that now, I guess, right?
Yeah. I mean,
but yeah, no, it is, and I think it brings up just the topic of how much pressure they're under to go out and perform and to do this.
Here, and I'm going to break the own rule. Like it makes you think like we know Mahomes was at Super Bowl at the halftime of the Super Bowl. Mahomes had an injection.
Yes.
Like probably
a Toradol injection.
The Bengals game, he probably had an injection.
Yeah. Hopefully not.
Obviously, in the Jaguars game, he had an injection.
He said he didn't for the Bengals one, but
yeah,
man,
I mean,
I don't know. know.
Yeah, I mean, because we saw him limping around out there at some points,
and it was obviously still bothering him. And in the Super Bowl, when he retweaked it, like y'all watched it mic'd up, right? I mean, dude was in pain, but
yeah, absolute pain. So you just wonder, you hope that something along these lines doesn't come back to get to him.
Yeah,
but yeah. So I saw that tweet, those tweets, and I was like, oh shit. Speaking of let's ride, do you think the Bears are gonna let Justin Fields ride next year, or are they going to trade him?
Why would you? What, you were the Bears?
I think they keep him.
I do too. I personally think they keep him, but first overall pick, you could Cardinals that shit.
Okay. Why, if you're the Bears, a team that hasn't had good QB play in
ever? Jay Cutler's their most successful quarterback since 1995 probably.
And who was it in 19? Like you had
What was it still Jim McMahon?
Jim McMahon for 85 Bears.
Yeah, so it might have been
And then,
since
like,
85.
Yeah, and it's not like
Jim
Jim
McMahon.
McMahon went on to be a prolific QB after
No.
that either. You know what I mean? You have your franchise has never had a QB who was consistently good.
Yeah.
You know, like
you
you had
tell that to a
guy.
Bears fan, you tell them like Jay Cutler's the best quarterback you've had since yeah, I'll even just say 2000 and they'll almost
'Cause
throw up
he
because you're
had
right.
he had like that one really good year with Brandon Marshall, right? Is
And
that
Alshon Jeffrey, he had a couple.
Alshon?
Yeah, I
Okay.
know Josh McCown also came in and had some prolific fucking numbers with those two. So
Okay. So, man, yeah, you cannot give up the first guy that has shown like some
promise.
real like excitement and some real like hope for you, and like, oh my God, and you already drafted. No, man, you got the first pick. Use it to get a few more picks. Build around that dude.
Yeah. Because I could see them go. They have three options. You can either draft a quarterback, trade Justin Fields. You can trade the pick to a team that wants a quarterback and accumulate more picks.
Are you gonna
Or you
get a
can just take the
guy?
best player available that's not a quarterback.
But you
If
could
you,
trade back a little bit to do that if you
yeah,
think
I think the big thing
nobody else is
is
going.
you want an offensive lineman or potentially a wide receiver in the first round if you're the Bears. So maybe moving back is your best option this year. Because I think D line is the projected pick if they were to take somebody at number 1.
Okay.
But I don't think that you traded away all your defensive talent last year just to draft a new defensive player first overall.
Well, maybe though.
I mean,
yeah.
I do think the trade
You're not
back
gonna
is the best
you're
plan
not
to.
gonna pay the guy, so you're gonna use the draft pick to go get his replacement
Well,
that you hopefully will be good. And you have to pay for a little bit while you build around your quarterback.
no, I think
and maybe
they
grab some pieces for him.
maybe they trade back and get best offensive lineman available. Then
You want to protect your dude, that's for
yeah.
sure. But yeah, like I mean, I don't think if you weren't going to pay your defensive guys, you're not going to go and grab other defensive guys to pay, right? You're going to
potentially, yeah.
You're going to give them in the draft, I think.
I just don't think they'll do it first overall.
They do need to find a weapon for their guy though. They don't be the Ravens. Don't be the Ravens.
You can't go in there with Claypool as your only option.
Find a weapon for your dude. Although Mooney looked like he could be decent, and he's young. He was right. That was his rookie year, right?
No, that was his second maybe.
Maybe he takes a step up. He's young enough where he could take a step, perhaps. But maybe go get a dude for Justin.
Yeah, I definitely.
If you don't draft, go find somebody to pay. Like use your money for something.
No.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into the MLB a little bit here. With spring training starting, we had that new pitch clock going.
Yeah.
First game ended in like 2 hours and 9 minutes or something like that.
That's what the league wants right there.
I don't mind it. It's just the clock is so fast. It's as soon as the pitcher catches the ball, that clock starts.
And how long do they have?
15 seconds to throw the pitch, but the batter has to be set by the 8-second mark.
Yes.
It counts down from 15. Batter has to be set by 8 seconds, and then the pitcher has to throw. Otherwise, batter gets a strike if he's not there, or it's a ball if the pitcher doesn't throw on time.
Yeah, and we already saw it.
It's funny because like 15 seconds doesn't sound like that short of a time, but I was watching some. It seems so much faster.
It's too. It's
especially when
I'm like I get that baseball needs to maybe speed up a little, but you could have done 30. Like you could have done 30 seconds. They get 20. They get 20 if there's a runner on base.
Oh, it's 20 if there's a runner.
Okay, I like that. I was gonna say they should get more time if there's a runner on base because that's the fun part of the game.
So I was watching one pitcher that rocks a lot, not like Cueto rock, but he does like a lot of like kind of like step in stuff, and they were talking about it on the commentary that he doesn't rock nearly as much because he doesn't have enough time.
Yeah. And see,
So
that was fun.
obviously he had to change his
That was
whole.
fun. That shit is fun, man. When pitchers can do
Yeah.
that shit, change up the timing of their wind up. But
Yeah, screw with batters.
yeah, that was great, dude.
It's weird because like if you watch, like I watched like one whole inning of a spring training game just to see what the clock was like, and it almost feels like it's always a quick pitch. Like how some pitchers will do a quick pitch, and that's what it felt like. It was just a quick pitch every pitch.
The pitcher just gets it back and then immediately just starts like.
I wonder what would happen if the catcher took a little more time to, how as soon as they they throw it right back, like take a few seconds.
I know, right? Yeah. Like let your pitcher
unless they don't want to give that batter any extra.
I was just saying now you're giving the batter the same amount of time, but
okay, we already saw like they called a game, bottom of the ninth, tie game. Were bases loaded or there was a couple guys on it?
Bases were loaded because had it been a full count per se and it was on the pitcher, then it would have been a walk-off.
And it was close too, right? But they called it on the batter. And
well, I mean the batter has to be set by 8 seconds.
He wasn't set.
He wasn't set, so he walked out.
But he was in the box still like digging in, I guess.
Yeah.
And just not set. And you just I know.
And it ended the game in a tie because spring training doesn't do it.
So is this rule's like in effect for regular season?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure that it's not something they're just trying out. And
I don't.
At least from my understanding, it's going to be set in stone rule. But maybe if there's enough pushback during spring training, they might change it. I don't know.
It just feels like it just, man, it's not enough time. It's not enough time.
It's not.
I don't know why they're trying to do it that quickly.
But they'll get used to it pretty quick, I feel.
The players.
Hey, dude, I'm down for some shorter baseball games.
Me too. Some of them just seem like they go on forever. Some games I can sit there and I wish were longer. There have been games like that.
But I mean, maybe they're thinking 30 seconds. Because I mean, that's 30 seconds would be a long time. Like
25.
What does that do to a pitcher?
20 and 25 would probably be good. 25 if you have runners on.
Do you think it's worse for a pitcher to have to pitch that quickly and go deep into a game, or is it better for him to have a few extra seconds?
I think give him a few extra seconds.
That's how I feel too.
Pitchers going deep, and a lot of pitchers don't go deep anymore.
Yeah.
I mean,
fifth inning,
fifth, sixth inning, you see most pitchers,
especially with the Royals last year.
No, I mean that's just the whole league now. The whole especially by the time the postseason hits, there's not a starter that gets past the fifth. It's ridiculous.
Yep. So yeah, I think that they're kind of thinking that, if we can speed that up, because did they also change the?
They changed last year. They had the new. I think it was last year was the first year they had the new rule for how often you can change up your relievers.
Yeah,
the reliever has to be in for at least 3 batters.
Stupid.
Yeah, didn't they add a couple things?
That one's not terrible. It definitely makes you plan things out a lot differently.
Yeah.
And be a lot more selective on when you bring in your lefty on lefty matchup. It's it's almost eliminated the lefty on lefty matchup.
I've got the official rule. So the pitch timer. Oh yeah, they implemented 3 rules this year.
Okay.
So the pitch timer, 15 seconds with bases empty, 20 seconds with runner on, which we already covered. Hitter gets 1 timeout per plate appearance.
Okay.
Must be in batter's box with 8 seconds left. So I guess he has to be in the box. He doesn't have to be set.
But the guy was in the box.
That's what I felt like too. I thought he was in the box and he was digging in. Pitchers get 2 disengagement, pickoff attempts, or step offs. Wow, that's great. There's been times where I've watched pitchers throw to first 8 times in a row before
throwing. They only get 2?
Is that per?
Is that step off or throw over? Are you talking?
It says pitchers get 2 disengagement, pickoffs, attempts, or step offs per batter.
Pickoff attempts
per batter.
Per batter. So every time a new batter comes in, you get 2.
So a
violation is considered a balk.
So wait a minute. If I'm on base, I'm just going to lead off and get him to throw back twice, and then I'm going to go on the third.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
And
like,
then, yeah, I'm gonna take like a fucking 20-foot.
if
That
the-
is
that's
stupid.
that's just saying that's just like guaranteeing that the pitcher never throws over that second time, because the pitcher always has to keep that in his back pocket, almost like,
Yeah.
oh, I could throw over or I could not, but he's not. Yeah, because you can't throw over there twice, and then
Speaking
then
of,
the base runner is just gonna take like a giant lead, like what?
just basically stand at second base.
Like he's gonna almost go.
Yeah,
and
so you're not gonna throw over unless you really need to throw over.
Can you not? So what happens if in that scenario, like the pitcher has thrown over twice, right? Can't do it anymore. And the base runner just starts. Can he not? Does he have to throw it to second now?
Does he have to throw it home, and then
I don't
the
understand.
catcher has to try to throw him out?
Like the
Except
base
for the
runner can
pitch?
just fucking
Zoom off.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it does not say anything else about
okay.
like runner can't take like a huge lead after 2 pickoff attempts.
pickoff attempts.
It says limits on pickoff attempts led to 26% increase in stolen base attempts in the minors. I'm surprised it's only 26.
But the league wants that as well. Stolen
Yeah.
bases
Oh,
are good for
I
offense.
do too, dude. I mean, shit. My favorite year watching baseball was when the Royals won the World Series.
Yeah.
That postseason run
That's
in
what speed do.
2014 and then in
That's what
2015, that
speed do.
season that's why I loved it. I
And
like
then
that high speed baseball. So
we had a very fun team.
I'm
Fun
this
for this, but it sounds like it's gonna suck to play.
this is kind of surprising to me as well with how fast the pitch timer goes, but it says pitch timer helped reduce game length by 25 minutes in the minors. Like it's only saving 25 minutes.
That's still not bad when
I mean, it's not terrible, but I feel like it would be
when
more.
you're like over 3 hours and
Yeah.
you need to desperately get under that 3 hour mark really for baseball.
Second one was the shift restrictions. Remember, you can only you had to have 2 and 2.
Yep.
Have 2 guys on each side of second, right?
I don't mind that one. I always find it silly, like, oh, this left-handed power hitter's coming up to base. Put everybody on the right side of the field.
I didn't mind the shift because I was like, you're a professional. Like you're a professional hitter. You should be able to hit to all parts of the field.
Same thing goes though for the infield. You're a professional player. You should be able to at least guard your area.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm like,
dude, it's gonna get tricky with guys lining up behind second too. Because so often we see a dude just directly behind second, and what's the rule of like who can direct?
You just got to be one step over.
You just gotta be like one step. Okay, so you're just like one step over, but you're gonna see some shit. I'm telling you,
you could see 2 guys in that gap. But anyway, I think we did it, guys.
Yeah, I think that's our week.
As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notification bell.
Yeah.
I mean, we can always start calling it the Sam.
Yeah, we can bring back the Sam Bell.
The Sam Belldozer.
It's not like it's out of.
You guys see?